Hey everybody, welcome back to Live Between Paychecks Kitchen. I'm Oz. That's Ann over there.
Hi.
And Linda's over there.
Oh.
Jack. And that's Ripley. And there goes Sewell. They're going to go say hi to somebody. We're the House of Echoes trying some more baking goodness. Especially because it's Halloween stuff, and I know Ann loves the Halloween stuff.
Halloween.
Told you. I found this the other day at my local store, and I really wanted to try it as a recipe on the back, so we're going to see how to put it together and put it out there with you guys. Before we get into that, be sure to like, share, subscribe, ring the little notification bell, all the YouTube-y stuff. No threats from me this time. And let's get into it. So first things first, get your box of this pumpkin spice baking mix. We got it at the local H-E-B, really nice. You're going to get 1 stick of butter, which is half a cup, 2 decent-sized eggs, half a cup of some water, and if you're careful, you can see Zool sneaking around the corner back there, looking what you're going to do. And you're also going to need one of these 9x16 baking pans. You're also going to want some kind of grease or Pam or spray, or you can use the butter. So first things first, preheat your oven to 350 and let that warm up. Now, you got the pan we're talking about, just go ahead and get you a light spritz of this Pam stuff, or take your butter and rub it down in there, get it nice and greasy so it won't stick when you pour this stuff in here to bake, okay? So, set that aside, get you a small bowl, ramekin, and go ahead and throw your butter in there. You're going to put it in the microwave, and you're going to start microwaving it at the beginning for about 30 seconds, right? If any more than that, it might bubble up. If it's not enough, start doing it in 5-second increments in there. But remember, your first one, you don't want to do more than 30 seconds, right? Just you can pull it out after 30 and kind of stir it up a little bit. So I'll put it in there at 30. You can still kind of see some bumps in there. Use a small spatula, bowl or something, or a spoon, sorry, and just go ahead and stir that around, okay? Make that nice and melted, and let's set that aside. Remember, it's warm. Get you a decent sized bowl, mixing bowl if you got it. Just go ahead and pour that hot butter in there. All right, and just make sure to use your spatula to scrape it out, because that's why it's there for. Then that half cup of water, just pour that on in there. And now your eggs. Now, I've had people say that they didn't know how to do that. It's just a lifelong practice, man. You crack it and the egg yolk doesn't stick together, or the shell falls in there, and nothing's perfect. Just reach in and just pull the little egg shells out. The eggs are going to get busted anyway. So get you a whisk. It's the first time I've ever used a proper whisk on some stuff. And movie magic to speed this up, because I didn't want y'all just sitting there while I'm beating a little bit of this stuff. But whisks work so well. Where have these been all my life? These work so well. They beat it up so nice and fluffy. So it's been about 30 seconds doing that. And then pour in your baking stuff. And that's that whole bag of that baking stuff we got from the local store, H-E-B. And just pour it in there. Now get you a nice spatula or a big spoon and stir it nice and gently, right? You got to be careful, because it'll blow out of there if you're not careful. So just turn it. Just slowly turn it. And at first, it's going to look like you don't have enough liquids in there, and it's going to be dusty. And you're just going to have to keep turning it around and turning it around. Like, this is kind of a long process. It takes 2 or 3 minutes, just kind of mix it up, whatever. Perfect time for shameless plug. We do have our aprons for sale over at livingbetweenpaychecks.square.site. The link should be down in the description below, man. So just give us a try, give us a holler. It's super cheap, but we got some really fun merch that we got going on. Our aprons, the first thing in, limited editions. So, yeah, shameless plug. Shameless plug. So while you're doing my shameless plug and listening to it, just stir it around until it keeps in there. If you keep getting down to the bottom and there's like little lumps or little dry spots, just keep stirring it. And it'll eventually turn into this giant lump of brown whatever, but it smells so good, right? It's starting to get that pumpkin spice smell to it. So just take it and just scrape it all the way in there and just splatter it down in there. It's going to look like a giant lump, but we're going to change that in a second. Get as much as you can, scrape it all out. Now use your spatula. Try to fill in that whole thing. You want the corners to be filled in. You want to pat it down as best you can, but it doesn't have to be perfect, man. I want y'all to know this. Look, it doesn't have to be perfectly flat. It doesn't have to be perfectly skinny, man. It doesn't have to do that. And that's just like people in real life, man. If you got scars, you got marks, you got stretch marks, whatever, fuck it. It's perfect, man. As long as you're fucking happy, just let it be. So flat it down as much as you can and fuck the haters, right? So life is pumpkin spice bars. So put that in your oven, let it check, and put it in there for 15 to 20 minutes, but you might want to check, depends on your oven. Look, this was gas. Let it cool off. It's going to be nice and warm, so be careful with it. And once it gets cool, we got this whipped cream cheese stuff. This wasn't on the original recipe. We decided to add this. So we're just going to go ahead and use this big spatulator thing. I was told this is the proper instrument to use for this. I just always use a fucking spoon, but just splatter it in there, rub it around, splatter it on there, and get it in there. Just try to get all the edges covered, man. It doesn't have to be perfect. It smells so good at this point. I'm fighting not to eat it, okay? Now look, See right here, it's getting kind of thin on the edge. That's where it's not quite cooled off enough, right? But that just means it melts. It gets down on the cracks and crevices of that pumpkin spice bar, that pumpkin cake. This is what this is, right? So just go ahead and mash it in there as best you can. If it starts melting, just let it run down the edges. Maybe let it cool off if you don't want it down there melting and running off the edges. You want that really thick white frosting on it. But again, it's like life, man. It ain't got to be perfect. As long as it tastes good, as long as you're happy, do your thing, right? Don't be hurting nobody else and you're good. So get out there, make your pumpkin spice bars how you want to. Change the color of this stuff. Make it orange. Make it like in nice and fall colors if it makes you feel better. But let that cool off. Slice it up into some bars or leave it as just a cake and you are ready to go. Eat all the rest of the frosting with a spoon. Yeah, because life is awesome. And that's it. That's just all this takes. It takes like 20, maybe 30 minutes of prep and full-on cooking time, man. Be sure, like I said, be sure to check. Use your toothpick stuff to check for your cake stuff. Like every time you check it, put a toothpick in the middle, pull it out, see if it's clean. If it's clean, it's good to go. Pull it out. Let these soft. And now, ours were really soft when we first pull them out, but let them sit. They just turn into these bars. They're perfect. Cost like $8. Perfect. Just sold. Everybody, I keep saying perfect. It's just perfect. Trust me, it's perfect. And here comes the part where I burn the crap out of myself. Ow, that's hot again. The bottom is still very warm. All right. There you have it, folks. Just burnt the shit out of myself again on the pumpkin bars. These are outstanding. This is neat. I'm glad I came across that box at the local shop, man. It's really cool. If y'all do it differently, y'all do it from scratch, or y'all do it whatever, and you want to see us do it differently, let us know. Put it down in the comments, man. We very much appreciate that. Or you can find us on social media. You can find us at Facebook, Pinterest, and Patreon. Thank you very much to our patrons. You can find us at all three of those at Living Between Paychecks Kitchen. You can almost always find us. See, I saved it over at Instagram at Living Between over there. And I'll see you next time.